I prefer Shedeur Sanders slightly over Ward and Dart, basically because my philosophy is to kind of play it safe. Sanders will be a capable starting quarterback in the league. I think both Dart and Ward have higher ceilings. Dart, though, there's such a huge range of outcome. Like, he could be a pretty good starter. He could be a zero. Like, it could just completely fall apart. And the Giants, it's possible everybody gets fired and they're picking third overall next year and they draft a quarterback next year just to replace him. Like, it could go sideways very quickly. He's a pretty good athlete, though. You could kind of squint and make some athleticism comparisons between him and Josh Allen. So that's obviously appealing given Daboll's history. He's got a pretty good arm. The big problem is accuracy. Like, he doesn't throw a very good deep ball specifically. He was bailed out by his receivers at Ole Miss. He had Trey Harris, who had a really good year the first half of the season, really lit it up, bailed him out. He was one of those receivers that you could just kind of toss it up to and he would go get it, and that worked out really well for Ole Miss. He comes from a funky offense too. It's not quite as extreme as, like, sometimes we talk about quarterbacks. Tennessee recently, we talked about a lot when Hendon Hooker entered the draft about that, how that's an offense that doesn't translate to the NFL. Lane Kiffin's offense is not that extreme, but it's not a smooth transition to an NFL offense either. So there's going to be a learning curve, which, he probably doesn't have to start week one. So he'll have some time to figure it out. But I also just want to go through the list of quarterbacks that are drafted in the late first round, because we often hear about second round quarterbacks. Don't do it. They're really bad. Really, it's if they're not a top 10 pick, like if you're not willing to go spend a top 10 or at least top 15 pick, there's a reason why they slide, because they're not good. There's a couple hits, and I'll go through the list. But the last time someone was drafted 20th to 32nd, you had Kenny Pickett, bust. Jordan Love, that's working out so far. Before that, we had Lamar Jackson, absolute home run, one of the two home run picks in this list. Paxton Lynch, before that, bust. Johnny Manziel, Teddy Bridgewater, not a bust, but didn't totally work out. Brandon Weeden, bust. Tim Tebow, epic bust. Brady Quinn, bust. Aaron Rodgers, the other absolute home run Hall of Famer. Jason Campbell, another wasn't a bust, didn't quite work out though. J.P. Losman, bust. Rex Grossman, basically a bust. The team had some success, but didn't work out. Patrick Ramsey, bust. Before that, Jim Druckenmiller. I mean,
that's back in the day. Now we're getting back in the day.
It's a brutal list. There are two absolute home runs on that list, but it's a low percent, a much lower percentage than top 10 quarterbacks even, which doesn't, there's plenty of busts in the top 10 as well. But my point is, when someone is not viewed as like, this is a guy you've got to get within the top 10 picks, they start sliding down the board. There's a good reason for it. There's a lot of flaws, and you got to find a way to fix it. And so this just feels like this is just pure desperation. They're trying to save their jobs because it hasn't gone well the first 4 years. And, it could work out. Maybe Daboll really does have the magic dust that, worked with Josh Allen, and it will work with Jaxson Dart. I don't think that he is, so far removed from success that it can't work out. But it's a really big risk.